Video, we'll be going through section B, which covers the creative and writing section. I'll be going through all the little nuances that you need to keep in mind. I'll be showing you some of the sample answers that scored good marks. I'll be teaching you little tips and tricks that you should keep in mind when you're giving your own exam. Without further ado, let's dive into it. Section B is where you're going to be assessed on three particular um, independent assessments. The first one is you might be given a letter. The second assessment is you might be given a speech. And the third assessment is that you might be given an article to write about. Now, this particular year, we see it's a letter, and most of the time, or often or not, the letters are going to be informal. And you'll be given three different um, bullet points to talk about. Now, in your section B, I'm going to bring out something to write on. That's one of that. There is our November 2025, the one we were doing. Let me turn off my phone. Sorry for the notifications. Now, we're going to be doing section B right now. And I'll try my best to go through everything there is to this section. The first one, I think that's the most important is, let's get this thing out of the way, is knowing your assessment objectives. Now, in section B, you will be assessed on assessment objective 4, and you will be assessed on assessment objective 5. And since this is a reading section as well, you will be assessed on assessment objective 1. So I did a very detailed video on the channel where I went through all of the assessment objectives, the marking, how they mark and whatnot. The assessment objective 1 is where it talks about your tests your reading skills and understanding. I'll just go through it anyways, reading plus understanding. Assessment objective 4 sees how well you can communicate effectively and imaginatively, adapting form, tone, register, etc. Okay, communicate, how basically creativity. Okay, assessment objective 5 is where they test your clarity. They test your range. I'm making typos, I know. Range. They test your vocabularies. What am I writing? Vocabularies, structure, etc. It's 1 a.m., so you can't really expect anything from me. Clarity, there's no E there. What is that F doing there? Nope. There you go. Etc. Right? Structure. And we did this abbreviation SPAG. Okay? Sentence structure, punctuation, or paragraph actually, accuracy, and grammar. Okay. So these are the three assessments that you need to be aware of. Now, before we go into the speech, I would like to show a very old example of a speech that I had somewhere here. Is this one? Yep. Okay. So this is one of the speech assessments. I wrote two of them, one as a boy and one as a girl. And we just stick to one. Now I want to go through the structure before I start writing. You'll be given 3 different points to talk about. Now, I repeat, these 3 points are they're independent points that you need to talk about in your text. And the primary source of these points are going to be from the 2 texts you're provided with. So whatever points you make, points should be brought from those texts. Okay? What I see most of the time is you guys are really creative and you love writing a lot. You have a lot of unsaid words in your heart, and that's completely fine. You can shed light on the topic from your own experience. You can share your own points, but the problem is that cannot be your primary source of points. So you're always free to add personal insights, personal, notes, any advice, anything you read, any extra knowledge you'd like to share. Fine, do that at the end. Your primary source is going to be from the text. These three bullet points, the three things they want you to write about, talk about in your text, are common points. They have been thoroughly discussed in both of the texts, or even they will be discussed in the text. All right, you will find the points in the texts, and you would have to go back and because by the time you're doing section B, you have conquered section A. That's a triumph, and that's a really good thing. By then, you should have all the points in your head, and all you're going to do is just brew them up and write them in your answer. Now, the structure is really simple. Letters are the most easiest ones to write, and they're by far the most common ones as well. You give a date. Two, you'd give an address. Now the address is optional. It's better to give if you want. Could be anything random. We made up some random uh, address, and you can start off saying anything. How is it been? Hey, dude. Hi, bestie. Whatever the hell you want to say. Start off friendly. One of the things that are really common, I hear teachers say, is that the examiners as well, is that section B is not informal enough. And that's a problem. And one of the ways we can fix that is by kind of like sharpening our tone a little bit, making sure we have a greater control on our tone. Because more often than not, I see the tones fluctuating quite often, and that's not a really good sign. You don't want that to be happening. And use a lot of interjections. Use question marks, exclamation marks. These are going to be your best friends to boost your marks. Um, there you go. So you start off with a really hearty introduction. Hey, bestie, how are you? It's been a long time since we had a chat. Oh my God, you're sounding really bubbly. Remember, the examiner are going to read. They are going to read your text, and they will pretend to be your friend. Now, if they read your letter and you don't give this friendly tone. You don't like when they read the letter that you sent them. If it doesn't sound friendly, then the examiner would know your tone is not hitting the spot. And guess what? You're going to lose marks. You're going to lose marks for assessment objective 4, and maybe even 5. Get your tone right. Get your tone right. Now, I have a knack for I don't know why, but I can really write well as I like if I think if like how am I supposed to explain this? I personally I have a lot of written letters. This is one of them. The reason why I chose this is because this letter is a little bit better than that one. That's all. The reason is only because I am writing this as a girl. Um, or like that overly friendly thing. You see, it could be a guy talking like that. It doesn't really have to be. You can make up your own friend. You can use any name you want. Just be yourself, and as long as you're being yourself and you're writing something that's raw, natural, and sounds good, you will get the marks. So it might sound a little cringe, but hey, you gotta do those. You gotta use those really annoying cliches to get the marks. So do whatever it's needed to be done to get those marks. So you see, the introduction is quite friendly. Um, how are you? It's been a long time since we had a chat. I hope you didn't forget me. I'm so happy that you finished college. Go, girl. Since you've got a ton of free time now, I say we do something fun rather than let these precious days slip by. That is wrong. That's going to be BY. I wrote BUY. That shows this is a real, raw, written letter. What do you say? So you can start off however you like. The only conditions are make sure your starting is interactive, it's engaging, and it sets off that friendly tone. Okay? All right, now enough yapping. Well, that's the point. I don't want to be that marks game, just talking marks game. Let us write this. Now, can I write this here? I can. And I do remember writing the essay here once, the letter or something I wrote, and it didn't go quite well. But let's do it anyways. I hate myself, so let's do it anyways. Um, so you, as I said, you will start with a date, and for this particular, let's just say let's use today's date, which is 5th March 2026. Now, you could write the date like this. You could write the date giving the day, the month. I don't know what month it is, maybe 3, and 2026 if you desire. You could do whatever you want to. You have freedom. Okay. Now, you can send it to someone. You can give two. These are kind of old-fashioned way of writing, but you can do that. You can say to, I don't know, Mary. Okay? And then you would start off saying, hey, how are you? Something like that, right? Something really friendly. So I like to start with this all the time because I don't know why. Um, it sounds too friendly a little bit. Hey, Betsy, you're gonna start off with a nice question mark. No, not question mark, an interjection. You see, this is what they like. This is what they like to see. Use a lot of exclamation marks. Use a lot of question marks, and you will see your marks just boosting up. It's like your marks will be tied to a rocket, and it's gonna be, like yeet, it's gonna go up. Use those interjections. I cannot stretch that enough. Okay, now it's a little bit too zoomed in. There you go. Now just start normally. Just say, how are you? Now you could do two. You could do either. You can make that sound as you can make that a question, or you could just make that sound really exaggerated and just too excited. How are you? It's like that. It's again. This does not have those spelling things. You know what? Um, let's do this outside. We don't really need to do it over here. I don't know why I'm being so annoying. I opened this for a reason. Let's just do it over here. So, I'm so sorry. I'm just being annoying, aren't I? Just say 5th May. This is way faster. March 2026 to whoever the hell you want to. Give a fake name. You can make real name. You can make anything. Um, whatever the hell you want to write, right? So, hey bestie, how are you? There you go. You're starting off strong. Now, we're going to say that it's been a long time. It's been a long time since we had a proper chat. And I hope, or I really hope that you haven't forgotten, forgotten me. And I'm going to use exclamation sign again to make it sound friendly. Now, if you notice, if you are somewhat keen and astute, you would see I'm kind of using this structure. That's because always have a structure that you are familiar with, and whenever you write, always apply that structure. And the more you write with that structure, you're going to see that applying a structure to a particular question will become first nature, and you wouldn't always have to kind of like struggle thinking what was the structure, what do you have to put and whatnot. You don't have to do that. Just all the time, whenever you're writing a letter, stick to one structure, change it every now and then. Every time you're writing a different letter, change it, and that's how you kind of like adapt. There you go. Moving on. Now let's say we're gonna use the same thing since the objective was you can always go back and see the text wherever that is. Letter of communication and manners in the first century, positive aspects of modern communication and manners, problems with modern communication and manners. What the hell? Okay, positive and problem advice. Now, positive aspects was that we um, one of the points that was in the text was that we have become really connected, right? That people are able to send messages instantly from one part of the world to another. That's one of the things we can talk about, right? So we will talk about that particular point. I have the points written, so I can just use them from here. Oh, you can't see my iPad, can you? On the other side. No, you can't. Okay. So forgot me, and we're gonna say so your friend just graduated high school or something. So happy that um you've finally finished high school or college. Depends. You can write whatever you want, or university even. You could go for that as well. College. Again, I'm gonna do the same thing. I love that. Just makes it sound so friendly. Since you've got um yes, so now particularly here, since she's just finished the high school, now she's got a lot of leisure time. She's free, so I'm now reaching out. So since you've got a ton of free time, I just noticed something, and again, apologies. You won't have a e over here. That's that's tone. Um, Again, shows this is that particular question was a raw written answer. So again, raw things are creative in its own way. So free time. Since that you have a lot of free time now, I thought I'd reach out. I'll reach out. How nice of me, isn't it? Honestly, um, I've been thinking. Not about. I've been thinking a lot lately about the way we talk to each other. Um, Honestly, I've been thinking a lot lately about the way we talk to each other has changed. Changed while we were buried since we were doing schools in textbooks, and scary and annoying homeworks. Annoying homeworks. Homework. Now, let's get into the first point where we have to talk about what was it again? What was it again? My stupid brain can't remember a thing. Where was it? Which one was it? Wait. Positive aspect. Let me just get this whole thing on my little here. Positive aspects. Okay, so let's bring that point. That isn't it crazy how connected connected we are now? I'm using the rhetorical question. And then one of the points was that instant message from text one, right? This was one of the points. So I'll talk about it. That I love that I can just instant um, instant message you, or the fact that um, colleagues and colleagues and relatives can reach out within a second. It'll fix the spelling mistakes later. Um, there you go. That's one of the things we can say. Or yeah, so that's one of the things we can say, and we're gonna say that it kind of it makes the world. What does it do? It makes it feel so much smaller in a way, right? So much smaller and somewhat more multicultural and diverse. Right? I feel like our generation, and when use humor, that includes me and you as well. Or I could just say that that includes you too. As a little joke, why not? You too. I feel like our generation also known, we could do something. We can do something. We can do something really well. We can say AKA Gen Z. Since this term was used in the text, it was always nice to use it as well. Is our generation is actually more tolerant, tolerant, and honest in our text messages than people give us credit for, right? So I'm kind of indicating that text too here, aren't I? Where it said, would grandma approve? Remember, and the primary message of that text was how old people or the previous generations see our new generation as a weird thing, that the way we communicate as a weird thing. So I'm kind of poking them here indirectly, credit for, like grandmas and like grandmas and old people. No, that sounds really disrespectful. You could say you could do it, but let's just stay respectful, all right? Let's just stay respectful. We can show so much love and kindness. Love, let's use a list. I want to put respect there. Kindness and respect, which all of them was in the text, through a simple screen in just one line, or through a simple screen. And it's definitely quicker than waiting for a pigeon. Now you should know, back in the day, you would have to deliver letters, and pigeons were used to deliver letters and controversial stuff. I think there's this weird thing that they were used in war. I have no idea to what extent that is true, but probably that is true, which shows pigeons are really intelligent. Intelligent. Wow, they are intelligent animals or birds. Sorry, it reminds me. I had two pigeons. Anyways, we're going from one tangent to another. Now, um, now the second part was the problems. Let's add a little bit more. Um, the, the positive aspects. Let's add a little bit more here. I want to add more. Instant message you, or the fact that colleagues and relatives can reach out within seconds. Back in the days when I want to bring the fact that you would be really distant from your family and text messages or letters would take long. That is kind of referred over here. So waiting for a pigeon. Let's keep writing and see. But I have to hit her with the harsh reality. I have to be real with you. It's not all sunshine and emojis. Um, One of the things the writer said in the text was that being available was a problem. People needed the necessity. I believe you remember they found the necessity to be online all the time something crucial. So they would be using their phones even in restaurants when they are supposed to be in a hangout and kind of like converse with their friends and loved ones. That's a problem. So um, let me do something. Don't you feel, what the heck, that that did you feel the constant spelling is not correct? Pressure to always be available, that dear, that fear of missing out, the idea to be constantly exposed to whatever junk is out there, or always finding the need to post a picture of your head online for validation. For context, this idea, again, I'm writing these points from my head. This context was taken from a joke of an artist. I don't know if or stand-up comedians, artists. From when? Maybe they are. This particular joke is taken from Randy Feltface. I think not for copyright issues, but I just like the guy. He's a great comedian. He's like a little puppet that makes jokes. One of the funniest things he did talk about, and his that particular joke thing video was about social media, how we're always socially engaged, how we always have to find the necessity to kind of post and get in the nerves of others, kind of like sneak up on people. I think that's what the thing was. So this is what it's about. So this is a point that I am inferring from my own perspective, understanding, and it's also a valid point. I know, right? Let's make it sound relevant. It's annoying. That's not the spelling. Annoyingly infectious. Even I can't um, control myself. Right? That's a problem. Um, we are on our little devices 24/7, like that limb thing. I don't know if this was talked about in this text, but there was a text where a writer said that they're like a third limb attached to us. Like they are a third limb attached to us. That's one of the things we can talk about. We're always checking on social media, counting likes and shares, reading comments at the dinner table when we are actually supposed to converse and engage. Engage. That's bad, isn't it? Asking, like, I'm making, I don't want to like kind of like make my friend feel like she's the evil guy, she's the evil being, like it's your fault, you're always on you're always on your phone, you never talk to me, you're always addicted to your phone. I don't want to make it sound personal. I'm using inclusive pronoun. That's one of the inclusive tone. I'm using that's one of the devices we learned, and I'm using that to make the thing sound less personal, feel the urgency. The problem is like implanted in all of us. It's us that it's everybody, you, me, everybody's in it. Let us work, let us hold hands, and let us work together to improve ourselves. This is the kind of message the use of exclusive inclusive pronoun is giving. Okay. Um, these days, face to face communications um, are short lived and feels awkward. And I'm going to say, I'm going to make a joke. That's why, it's probably, or maybe that's why you're, I kind of want to make a joke that that's probably why you're like that. If you don't want to give it, I think it's weird. I'm kind of like poking my friend. That's why you're weird. You can't stop fiddling your thumb whenever you're having a conversation. You could do that if you want. Awkward. Um, even on dates, people are fiddling with their godforsaken forsaken phones, and texting without engaging texting. Our verbal communi- verbal commu- communication is um, fading away. And Jesus, let's just say that um, eye to eye communication left the chat a while ago, and those are not good signs. Now, don't you think? Don't you think it's weird how even how every kid has an iPad? I'm an Apple guy. I love Apple, so I know the spelling. That's how you, the I is lowercase, the P is capital. Know that if you're writing, please don't do this. It hurts my eye. I mean, I guess that's correct, but I'm using. You could say iPad here, I guess, but this particular thing is a name here now. I'm particularly using this name. That's the name of the device, and I'm using this as this is not incorrect, by the way. That's how you pronounce it. Um, so every kid has an iPad. When back in the days, would be sitting in the park making sandcastles or playing tag. Do you remember? Sorry about that. How many um, friends we made? I'm kind of like trying hard to kind of think about the past. People don't even make friends anymore. Now, why is that? Well, that's because friends won't come to you in life from heaven. God won't kick a friend from heaven. He's gonna go flying wee and he's gonna fall in front of you. That's not gonna happen. You wanna make friends, you have to go and converse, communicate with people. Nobody communicates with anybody. Nobody wants to be a part of someone else's life. Nobody wants to communicate, nor be a part of someone else's life, someone else's. Why am I doing this? Else's life, nor the idea of being social sounds exciting to them, right? It doesn't sound really exciting. Um, Now I can just add what else can we do? Mm, that's one of them. exciting to them. I want to go back to the text and see if there were anything else that could be talked about. Think about. That's not the one. Which one was it? Oh, there it is. Oh, the text is at the end, isn't it? Ta-da! Okay. Manners change. Thank you, old fashioned. Do manners matter? Manners do matter. Um, okay, I think I got it. That's that. Social exciting to them. Moreover, I could add the grandma thing. Keeps nudging me to or my grandma the other day started spitting out her own stories on how they would make new friends every day and how we are becoming lazy. She even said that the way we text is no longer considered as a form of communication. Can you believe that? So that brings me to my second point, to my next point. Next point. P is gonna be first, right? Oh my god. That is, I think we should be more mindful. What was the point? Problems, advice how to improve online behavior and show good manners. I think we have deviated a little bit from our text, haven't we? Communicate. Problems of modern communication and manner. Modern communication. Let me read it. Let me go through it and see. These days, face-to-face communications are short-lived and feels awkward. Even on dates, people are fiddling with their godforsaken phones and texting without actually sharing their emotions to their significant other. That's messed up. And I'm gonna write that like that. I'm sorry, the commentary is not the best. Midnight video sessions are always the worst, but that's the only time I can, sit down and do these things. Our verbal communication is fading away, and let's just say that eye-to-eye communication has left the chat a while ago. Those are not good signs. We could do something. Speaking of chat, speaking of chat, my I could really let's do this. Let's cut this part. And I'm gonna do something really genius up here. Gonna do something really genius here. Speaking of chat, my grandma the other day was so sad to see the way we text, saying, No, let's not put quotes anymore. I wanted to put a quote, but let's just saying that she doesn't understand understand um, our new form new form of communication, and said how many mistakes my text had. All I sent her was okay. She lectured me on the importance of grammar and punctuation for an hour. All I sent her was an okay. Kind of wanted to put this. Let's throw that away. Let's throw that away. So that brings me to my next point. It's very important that we're mindful. Let's learn to accept. Let's learn to merge. Let's learn to um, respect the importance of offline communications, and also um, be more vigilant with our text messages. Giving importance to grammar and punctuation. That's not the correct spelling. You wouldn't want to say um, I'm thinking of some funny text message, like those meanings where mm, some like misunderstandings where it could change the meaning completely. Uh, what can you say? Like I'm thinking about it, that one thing, like instead of saying I want food or feed me, you say eat me, something like that. I'm thinking about something like that. Um, or like something related to work, like you want to bring in boss. Um, I don't have anyone online. Not taking class right now. I would have asked questions. Um, I don't know. It's just not coming to me right now. But you could really do that. You could say some example here, um, like boss, you're fired. Like as in kind of saying you're really cool, and instead of saying you're fired, that would sound funny. It's not coming to my head right now. So let's not force it. Let's keep what we have here, giving importance to grammar and punctuation. Okay, giving importance to grammar and punctuation, and being especially kind, um, especially kind to the elders with our text messages, texts, lots of heart, and thank you should do the work. I'm kidding. But you get the idea. What else can we say? Um,
one of the problems was that problems more in communication matters is that we are no longer um, a simple habit of not bringing your phone to the dinner table and talking to your family members. This could do wonders. That's one of the things. Wonders. Or the next time you ever go out with friends, if I'm not invited, you're dead. Keep your phone or challenge yourself. Challenge yourself, yourself, not to look at your phone even once. You'll see. You will you will talk more and make more meaningful or make more memorable memory. That was unexpected, but that's actually good alliteration. Make more memorable memory. That sounds really good. It was unintentional. Uh, what else? Mm, last advices. Use social media carefully, carefully. Still got the spelling wrong. Um, and remember your, they use this in the text, digital footprint. Footprint. Once you post that, what? The ugly picture of yours? That sounds too harsh. Let's just say embarrassing. Let's just say it's embarrassing dance video. Um, it's out there forever, or it's there forever. Kind of making her think about what she's, posting. You take a beautiful picture of your, and if you take a beautiful picture of, yourself, and just don't post it right away. Think about it. Post. Be careful. There might be some creep out there. Creepy. There might be people. That picture might have something you shouldn't be wearing, or like that picture could. I don't know. I'm just giving you an idea. Come on, I'm drunk right now, but you get the idea. I'm giving my friend advice that do not post whatever you want to post. Be careful. Go through whatever the hell you're posting. Be careful on what you post. I'm giving that. There you go. It sounds a little sudden, so I can say it like this. Oh, another advice for you. It almost slipped my mind. Use social media carefully and remember your digital footprint. There you go. Anyway, I hope you give this some thought. What can we say? Let's just say I'm joining a music band next month, and I'd love for us to catch up properly. Maybe even without our phones for an hour. What do you say? What do you say? Shoot me a message. Sheet me a message? Shoot me a message. A message. When? No, that's the point. You shouldn't be sending messages. Oh, wait, I have a good idea. When you can. Wait, on second thought, scratch that. Um, what am I doing? Scratch that. Send me a message with a pigeon. That would sound really funny. I know I got the spelling wrong. Anyways, that be even better. I'll be waiting. And then you can add with the normal thing, take care. Emma. There you go. That's how you would end this. Now, this is one of the things, one of the ways you can write it. Cat up. Cat up. Okay, cat up. Catch up. Oh, love. Ta-da. Now, what I like to do is, I'm going to put this on um, proofread. So any little typos or grammatical mistakes that I might have made not because I don't know English, excuse me, hello, is because it's always difficult to kind of get these things right whenever you're making commentary. So wow, that's a lot of changes. There you go. No. Why did they fix this? They should not fix this. The reason why I wrote okay was for a reason. And I'm gonna write that capital. Intentionally. Because it said grammar and punctuation. So it's both here, I guess, in a way. So there you go. So yes, that's how you would normally write a letter. Hopefully that helped. In the next video, it's probably going to be on section C, where we're going to go through the arts of writing essays and how to score marks on that. Till then, bye-bye. Take care.